What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Ridin High Sports, coming out of Ridin High Podcast Studios. We live and direct. It's your boy Can Too. If I can, you can too. This is the premiere episode. We got a lot to talk about. It's going to be nothing but sports, everything going across the country, everything that's popping up. If you need to know, we going to bring it to you and you going to know it. Shout out to Freak Man behind the scenes, DJ Little King behind the scenes. And today I got a special guest, TJ. He's in the building. We're going to bring him on a little bit later. When we start talking about some football, the dude's a football guru, so trust me, you in for one heck of a show. We're going to get right into it, talk about what needs to go on and what's happening. So one thing I've noticed when it comes to summertime, man, there's always the same things that happen that you know summertime is ending. You start seeing the signs, you look around, you start feeling like, man, there goes summertime. Usually you start noticing it's your kids and nieces and nephews, it's time for them to go back to school. You start hearing the buzz all over TV. Football's coming back up. You getting excited. But one thing that's always got me and always lets me know that summer's really coming to an end, and it's always around, is New York City, and we talking about the U.S. Open. That's what we're talking about. Some tennis stuff, I know. But trust me, when that happens, you hear the U.S. Open hopping on, and every time you're on ESPN, you can't watch nothing because it's nothing but tennis. You know it's the end of summer. But you know what? If you haven't been paying attention for the last 4 or 5 years, that U.S. Open, it's starting to become like the VMAs. It's starting to become a star-studded event. I'm talking like everybody who's anybody starts showing out to these games. And I'm pretty sure y'all seen all over the internet, Lil Wayne was out there. That dude was vibing, checking out some tennis. Comedians be out there. You see Ben Stiller. You're seeing Chris Rock. You seeing movie stars. You seeing other different rappers and actors and political people. It becomes the who's who of what's going down, and that's how you know summer's ending. And, I mean, just to top it out, like, I don't know if y'all know this, but Jimmy Butler was out there. Jimmy Butler was out at the U.S. Open, and he participated as a ball boy. And hey, it's crazy. He had the whole Ralph Lauren polo set up. He was out there on the sides of the courts running around. Usually they're little kids. They about teenagers or somewhere between, like, I think it's like 11 and 16 is what they have as the ball boys and the ball girls out there. And he was out there doing a thing for the opening ceremonies. And, man, I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of cool. Just to see, other athletes come and watch and support tennis and support one of the biggest. I mean, when it comes to tennis in America, the U.S. Open is the biggest competition, the biggest tournament that the United States holds. That is huge. The only thing bigger than that would probably be Wimbledon across the pond, or the Australian Open that starts usually in the beginning of the year of the tennis career. When you have the U.S. Open, it means it's the end of summer, and, man, everybody comes and shows out, and they did. And two people really did show out. Out of all them stars that everybody we're talking about, there's two people I really want to talk about. And the first one I want to talk about, if you ain't heard about her, you need to know. Coco Gauff. Man, this girl came out. Gaff came out and showed out. And to be honest with you, if you don't know, she's 19 years old. She comes out of Atlanta, Georgia, right? She won the U.S. Women's Singles Open. She won it in 3 straight sets. Normally, you play three straight sets, and usually by that type of competition, you're going like 5 sets. You're going, a little bit longer. 3 straight sets means you dominated. She won. She's 19 years old. Won in 3 straight sets. She did something that has not been done in 24 years. She is a teenager, and I mean teenager. We talking young, bro. She can't drink. She can't even buy tobacco. She a teenager. 19 years old, won the U.S. Open. That has not been done in 24 years. A teenager American has not won the Women's Singles Open in 24 years. The last one to do it, you know who it is? Serena Williams in 1999. And she was 17 years old. A phenom. And to be compared or even be put in the same category as Serena Williams, please. That means you doing something. I'm putting my stamp on it right now. I think she's going to be a dominant force in tennis. I think she's going to be a dominant for young African-American ladies, for any kind of teenager, any kind of woman coming out of America, because let's be real, in tennis, Americans really don't dominate the sport like that. We don't. And for her to come out of Atlanta, Georgia, 19 years old, show up, show out, and win, man, big ups to her, big props to her. And that was really cool. I thought it was awesome. I know it happened a couple weeks ago, but I thought being the first episode, I like to talk about historical stuff. I like to talk about things that people haven't done or haven't done in a while. And I think that's something I need to brag about and promote. And that's something I want to do. At the same time, there was somebody else that came out and played on the men's side, right? He didn't win, all right? He made it to the semifinals. We're talking about my boy Ben Shelton right now. This dude, 20 years old, right? First year as a pro. 20 years old. Give you a little backstory about the kid. He is 65-10 in his career at the University of Florida. He's a Florida Gator. He's a Florida native. His dad is a tennis pro out of Florida. Learned how to play. And, man, he came up and showed out in college. He was a 2022 NCAA men's single champion. He was a 2022 player of the year in college. U.S. Open just happened this year. That's 2023. It's only been a year. So he's very new to the pro system. He made it all the way to the semifinals. The semifinals in the U.S. Open, a brand new pro. That's very hard to do. We're talking about it's the equivalent of the Masters. Like, this is very hard to do. Not only is he the first African-American, born American to make it to the semifinals, no other 20-year-old has been there in 20 years. The last one to do it, Andy Roddick. And if you know anything about tennis, Andy Roddick was a beast. Andy Roddick was like Pete Sampras, like John McEnroe. Like, we never seen anybody like them. But they were white. He the first African-American 20-year-old, first African-American men's single player to make it this far. And dude did something that I have never seen. A lot of people haven't seen. I don't know if you know in tennis, when you start a game, you got to throw it up, you got to serve it, and usually that serve is probably one of the fastest things you hit out of the gate, out of the ball. Very, they always have like on the corner, if you ever watch it on ESPN or anything or any Wimbledon and stuff, they have like a mile per hour, how fast they hit it. This dude hit it 149 miles per hour. Not once, but 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. Let me break it down to you. Some of y'all's cars out there don't even make it past 80 miles per hour. This dude hitting a tennis ball 149. That is some talent for a 20-year-old. If you want to compare it to other people like in the industry or in tennis, a lot of people know Roger Federer. Roger Federer been playing for a long time. Dude's got 20 titles under his belt. Dude is considered a Hall of Famer, first ballot, whatever you want to call it, one of the greatest to ever do it. In his whole career, and I'm talking about years, 20 years plus, in his whole career, the fastest he's ever hit the ball, 143 miles per hour. Now we talking about a 20-year-old, first year of going pro, almost 150 off the bat. That's that's crazy. That's like a pitcher pitching 101, 102 back to back like nothing. It's nuts. So to see, and I'm not the biggest tennis fan or anything like that. Don't get it twisted. But to see young Americans, young minorities in the tennis place doing something that hasn't been done in a long time, and we're talking decades, and they showing up, showing out, and doing things crazy and providing all this really cool stuff, like, I think that's amazing. I think that's a great game for tennis. I think that's a great way. You're going to get more minorities playing. It's a great way to just talk about the sport, especially if you don't, and you're not an avid watcher. And I get it. Like, it's not like I'm watching every tennis game out there or anything, but I love to hear stories about people like this, young kids that have been putting in the work since they were 8 or 9, been putting in the work in high school, been putting in the work in college, come out, and they showing up and showing out. I think that's good. So I really wanted to talk about that U.S. Open stuff, and I thought that was really cool. I wanted to bring it up. And, man, shout out to him, and that's what it is. So I got something for you guys, especially you basketball fans out there. You know, I know it's the fall. I know it's football season. I know it's kind of crazy and whatnot, but I mean, I'm a big basketball fan, and sometimes I miss my basketball, and I miss just watching it and just being entertained by it. And I know FIBA was around, you know, like in the past couple of weeks, and, you know, America didn't make it. They didn't win. They lost, and it was upsetting. But I still like watching basketball, and I love watching basketball. And the only thing I think that makes it even cooler when you're watching basketball is we're watching some of your favorite rappers hoop with their friends playing basketball for money. So if you ain't never heard of this, there's a thing out there on the internet. It's called the Crew League. And the Crew League's pretty sweet, man. It's all these rappers, all these big celebrities, and it's them and their friends that compete for $250,000. They compete for $250,000. They're competing for a bag. And it's a tournament-style play. And it's them. It's 4-on-4. First one to 21. You got to win by 2. It's on Vice. It's on Revolt. Like, you can check it out. You can watch it. But some of these rappers and their friends, man, it's cool to watch, especially if you're a basketball fan. You just miss basketball. Like, some of the key things this season right now is, like, you have Key Glocks in the – Key Glock has a team in here. Waka Flocka has a team on here. Offset has a team on here. Gator from Dave, Little Dicky, that show, he got a team on there. Rob 49 got a team on there. Doughboy got a team on there. I mean, NLE Chop has been on it. You know, man, it's crazy. Like, these people are out here with their friends. They're having a good time. And Nick Cannon got a team this year with Hitman Holla. They both out there. They both competing. Actually, this Friday, you can catch Key Glock playing. He in the semifinals right now. Hitman Holla's team and Nick Cannon have already made it to the finals. They waiting to see the winner of Key Glock and Rob 49 that are playing. If you jam him, man, look him up. He's pretty dope. But it's cool. It's cool to see these rappers that always talk about sports in their lyrics really see how they play in real life. And I'm not going to lie. Some of these dudes cannot hoop. They cannot hoop. You can check me on TikTok. I got a video of Kevin Gates getting dunked on. And, I mean, I got some people that, some of them they could dribble. They can't shoot. Some of them can shoot, but they can't dribble. One guy that really can, and it would surprise me over the years, and if you're a big fan of them, like All-Star Celebrity Games and stuff like that, you like to watch that, this is something you really need to watch, especially get your basketball fix. It's only like 20 minutes long. It ain't long. Hitman Holla from Wild and Style on Nick Cannon, incredible, all that. Dude, I did not know was a D1 college basketball player. He averaged a little over 20 points a game. Dude can hoop. I did not expect that at all. I thought he was just going to be like, you know, a battle rapper on the court talking crap. You know, you got Little Duval on there. You got Gus on there. You got Funny Marco on there. Like, it's funny. It's a really cool thing. Check it out, especially if you're missing out on basketball. You can't wait for the season to come here in a couple months. You want to see it. Man, your favorite rappers are on there. They're checking it out. And it's fun to watch, man. I think you get your basketball fix. You get to see some of your favorite musicians hooping and balling. And it's pretty cool, man. They play at the where the Atlanta Hawks play. So it's a real legit thing. It ain't like no street ball in the backyard, but sometimes it look like all these people know how to do a street ball and they can't hoop for nothing. But I mean, it's live and it's pretty cool. So if you're in the basketball fix and you need to get into that, that's something you should check out. And we're going. So I'm gonna switch it up here, and I'm very excited who I'm about to bring on the show. All right. This guy right here is the white Gus Johnson, all right? I don't know if you know who that is, but go ahead and take your time, Google him up, look him up after the show. Not right now because I want you to stay tuned in. But this dude knows his football. This dude is play-by-play commentator, high school extraordinaire, guru, football, knows his stuff. I'm bringing him to the stage. It's a privilege for my first guest to be this guy, straight coming out of Ingleside, Texas, baby. And, man, I think it's going to be great. I want to bring him in. We're going to talk about some football. I'm really excited. So, with none other than due, I'm going to bring in my boy TJ coming in right now, baby.
What's going on, man? I mean, what a hell of a show, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you making your time. I know you took a drive to come out here. So it means a lot to us. It means a lot to the Riding High podcast members and fans, man. Thank you.
Shout out to y'all for setting this up, and it's been a long time coming. Ever since I started the Pigskin Mafia podcast, I've wanted DJ Lil King in the background. Shout out to you. We eventually got together, got him on, and I forgot, was it a college football prediction or a NFL prediction? I forgot. It was last year when we did it, but I tell you what, it was a great episode of the PMP. And then I started to wonder, when am I going to be on the Riding High podcast? And then all of a sudden, I saw it a couple days ago, Riding High Sports was going to come on. And I talked to DJ Lil King. We got together. And we eventually hooked it up. Now it's going to be on Wednesdays. Tune in, YouTube, and Twitch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out YouTube, Twitch, 9 p.m. It's going to be on Wednesdays. It's going to be great. We're going to be talking about sports, all the hottest topics coming around. We have great guests, just like my boy TJ here. TJ, for the people that don't know you and are unfamiliar with you, give them a little backstory about you, what you do, and, your whole little background.
Well, I'll start off with my origin, I was born in Killeen. For those in Central Texas, they know it as Killin because all they do is straight up kill over there. But I grew up in a small town of 1,400 people known as Moody, Texas. It's in between McGregor and Belton and Temple, so it's right there by Fort Hood, too. So I have a buddy that grew up. He was actually my co-host on the Pigskin Mafia podcast. Mm-hmm. He grew up 10 miles away from Fort Hood, and that place is a shithole, okay? So many bad stories behind there, but anyway, what eventually became the love of my life, football, and I'll probably die alone, but I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But I was 6 years old, first started out playing football. Started out as a tight end and defensive end, 3 foot nothing, probably weighed 50 pounds, blowing through offensive linemen that are way bigger than me, Mm-hmm. And then eventually we get to junior high and high school and all this other stuff. I played so many positions, but my favorite two positions were fullback and middle linebacker. But I have experience with the cornerback position. Was not a good receiver. I'm going to tell you that right now. I was not a good receiver. It wasn't because I couldn't catch. It was because I hated the position. Gotcha. I felt like there was less physicality. And I felt the same way as cornerback, but I had a little bit more respect for cornerback than receivers. And I tell you what, man, 12 years of football, you got a lot of knowledge. And with different positions that you've played, I've even played quarterback for one scrimmage game for Pee Wee football, which for most people that says, that doesn't count. Well, it fucking counts, okay?
Yeah.
Because you got to go through your progressions, and people don't realize that 7-on-7, yes, it's good for the quarterback and the receivers and the secondary. It doesn't translate onto the field because you still got to deal with the pressure. Mm-hmm. You still got to deal with all that. So then after my senior year in high school, which that went into shambles because of the fact that after the game that we had against Rogers, there was a controversial call. I claim it as a pick, but the referees, which we'll get into this here in a little bit, they pointed it towards to the offense for a first down. It was a crucial 3rd down and 10 with the clock winding down under 2 minutes. Quarterback threw. They've been picking on me all game long, and they couldn't get a completion. So I don't get why they're even throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. They were a run first team, and they had way more physicality than we did. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Okay, we were more finesse than they were. They had a guy on defense with a broken hand playing, and nowadays we live in a soft society. There's kids out go into the tent for a broken toenail. You know, I played with a broken toenail. It's not pleasant, but I didn't care. I cared about playing. You know, and on that play, I caught the pass. It was picked off, and the receiver grabbed my arms. And I'm not as big as I or I wasn't as big as I am now. You know, I mean, I'm almost 200 pounds now. I was 160 at 5'8". You know, that's real small for anybody. You know, and the ref, of course, it looked like they were pointing it to our possession, but it was the first down for Rodgers. And then after that, they scored. We lost 28-26. That haunts me to this day. Mm-hmm. And then after the game, I'm talking to my parents, and next thing you know, the receiver showed up. And I was like, dude, don't talk to me. You don't talk to me. And I've had history with Rodgers too, so in Central Texas. But he came up, he said, bro, they screwed you. They screwed you. And I was like, yeah, they fucking screwed me. They ran off the field. They knew they screwed me. But after that, I went into the Navy, served 4 years, made it to second class petty officer. Pretty much started.
Thank you for your service, man.
Thank you for the support. Honestly, support matters before service, in my opinion. Like, if I'm serious, any service member without support, let's be real, man. I mean, they do not last.
So when did you get into commentating and getting into high school and college sports and really starting to talk about it and put it online on social media? When did you get into that?
Well, let's be real. I wasn't really big into podcasting. It was from a acquaintance at the time. He was like, "Hey, bro, you're smart. You know your shit on football. There's a group of guys that are setting up a podcast, you know." And I was like, I don't know. That just seems weird to do a podcast about high school football players, you know. And then I got to think about it. I rested on it, you know. These kids down here in Corpus especially, or in the Coastal Bend, do not get a lot of exposure. Like,
facts.
Like, I'm telling you, it was pulling tooth and nails out of your mouth just to get a scholarship to Chattanooga State water aquarium science of technology, you know. You know, that's what I'm trying to say, you know. Like, it was hard to get a recruitment out of a JUCO, you know. Even Kingsville, you know, they don't really recruit down here, you know. No. Let's be real, guys. Like, they don't recruit they don't recruit Ingleside or Sinton. They'd much rather recruit the San Antonio schools, not RGV schools. And I'm glad that Travis Bush is going to be the coach for UT RGV down there. He's an excellent coach. He did very well with Canyon last season, the team that did beat Veterans Memorial last year. I'm very excited to see what he does in 2025. But then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'll do podcasting. So we started podcasting. I joined up with Gridiron 64 podcast. I want to say during COVID season in 2020, you know, there was a lot of games canceled because of that. I'm not going to say how I feel about the vid because I don't really care.
Yeah.
But it kind of made me feel alive doing it, you know. And then I heard about us going to the Rockport game and start live streaming. And I was like, who are they playing against? Miller. They have the top receiver in South Texas, Lonnie Atkism, you know. Now he's in Sam Houston State. And I was like, man, I heard about this kid, but I don't know fuck all about Miller. You know, so it was our first game, and they're like, okay, you're going to be the play-by-play. I was like, what? I thought I was better as a color commentator, you know? So then I'm sitting there nervous as hell. I'm shaking. Like I was literally shaking like this with my hands, you know, just fucking freaked out about this game because I was afraid of, for one, messing up the names, for two, sounding like shit and sounding like I didn't know what I was talking about. So then, after the game, and about 2 days later, I go back and look at it, and I see all the comments, and I see everything. I see DJ Lil King calls me the white Gus Johnson. That made me feel like, I'm not gonna lie, it boosted my ego a little bit. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. It boosted my ego.
Yeah.
And then I saw the viewership. Do you know how many people watched that game?
How many?
And that game was god-awful. Let's be honest. It was 35-14.
Uh-huh.
Miller had like 40 penalties.
Damn.
But we had 4,400 viewers.
That's what's up.
4,400 viewers on my first try at commentary. Now, we're not getting that right now, but eventually we'll get to that point. But that fired me up, and I was like...
Yeah, I watched that game. I was introduced to you through that game on YouTube, and I watched the commentary, and I ain't gonna lie, DJ Lil King was right about it, man. The white Gus Johnson, you was telling it like it is, and
let me chime in right quick. Shout out everybody that's tuned in. DJ Lil King, I'm back here in the background. So I was tuned in to the Miller Rockport Fulton game, and I want to say when I first tuned in, there wasn't like no commentary going on. So then after a while, the commentary comes on, and I could hear that it's two dudes. And what excited me was it was a Rockport Fulton stream, and there was clearly one dude being straight biased towards Rockport Fulton. And every time Miller would do something good, like this dude would like clearly be on the microphone like, oh, man, like, he was like, he couldn't even hide it, bro. He was so salty, he couldn't even hide it. But then you have Tyler over here, who's just like, TJ over here, who's just like, he's going with the flow. You can't even, like, obviously he was, like, there to do the commentary for Rockport, but he was so unbiased. And to me, he wasn't, like, rooting for Miller, but he was on that Gus Johnson type, here goes Atkinson. There goes Atkinson.
Touchdown, Miller!
He's like, touchdown, Miller. And I was just like, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I know this dude that's sitting on the side of him is just like, pissed off. I don't know if he was, but that's just what I was thinking watching from a viewer today. Man, that's what.
Shit, I think the press box was pissed off at me because they tried to bump up the music, if I remember correctly. But I'm telling you what, I tell everybody this. I got the loudest voice in Texas.
You weren't seeing the comments in the live stream. You said you got confidence like 2 days after. You didn't see us like in the live stream, like while you were calling the game,
I
like
did,
giving you props. There was a lot of us giving you props like during the live stream.
I was trying to be humble at the time.
Okay, already.
But shout out to Z, man. I mean, he's a diehard Rockport Fulton fan.
For sure.
And he played for that team several years ago when he was a young man. Now he's
shout out to him. My bad.
Yeah,
I just called it how I saw
it.
Shout out to Z,
man. You good. I mean, I am not for biased commentary. Like Tim Brando's like the worst. Like when he commentates a Texas game, I want to just stab my fucking ears because he is horrible, you know. But I mean, it's fun what I do, and I have an actual job outside of commentary, you know. Right now, it's a hobby, but eventually we'll start seeing some paper roll through,
for sure.
You know. But I do my job first, my actual job, then I do this. I mean, I'm on Twitter 24/7. You can look me up at TJRid10_PMP, you know. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty critical on a lot of shit, especially football.
It's all right. Well, man, we're going to move on to the next topic. I don't know if you saw this. I did. I thought it was really cool. The Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Right? They unveiled a Barry Sanders statue right? And he is the first Detroit Lion in franchise history to get this honor.
I'm glad it wasn't Bobby Lane because they still have that curse.
But
he cursed them to never go to a Super Bowl within 50 years, and they still haven't went. And it's past that 50-year mark.
Yeah,
it
is.
But Barry Sanders definitely deserves a statue.
Oh, without a doubt,
Field.
Hall of Famer. I mean, dude.
And next guy, Megatron.
I mean, he's in Kansas. He's in Kansas high school Hall of Famer. He's
Yes.
at Oklahoma State Hall of Famer there.
Go Pokes.
He's also the Ring of Honors or at Detroit, and he's a Hall of Famer in the NFL. So his statue is actually 8 feet. It's a bronze statue.
Beautiful.
And it's on the corner of Montcalm and Brush, and you can check it out. It's right there, the heart of downtown Detroit. They unrevealed it before they played the Seattle Seahawks. Really cool. So the people that made it's Omari Armani, I hope I'm saying that right, and Lucella from the Fine Art Studios of Roblat Armani. They're also the same people that made the Michael Jordan statue.
Wow.
And they're also the same people that made the Magic Johnson statue in Los Angeles. Give you a breakdown of Barry Sanders, in my opinion, and see if you're on the same page with me. Before Barry Sanders, I saw there was a lot of good running backs, a lot of great backs, but they were up and down running backs.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen a video game running back move side to side like Barry Sanders. And he was one of the first, I feel, that really played the way for people like Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
I think to make those really crazy jukes, and what made Madden all awesome is it was Barry Sanders, his way to not just attack the hole, but sidestep you, juke you, and then break you down with his speed.
Let's be real about Barry Sanders. He was the Detroit Lions.
He was.
I mean, they didn't have any good receivers. Their O-line was abysmal.
It was. And I feel like that's why he had to juke so much.
And, I mean, he had to throw guys that were like Lawrence Taylor size off of him, and that's very difficult to do. And for a guy like Barry Sanders, who his career was played short.
It was very short.
He walked away from the game, which it's the biggest what if in the NFL, like how long would he have lasted if he actually didn't walk away? I think in today's football, the running back position is dying out in some sense, but Barry Sanders to me is no doubt a Mount Rushmore of running backs.
I would agree with you on that. I mean, just go over his career stats. 3,062 carries, 15,269 yards, almost hit 100 touchdowns, 99. He averaged about 5 yards a carry. I mean, that means every 2 plays you got a first down.
Yeah, every 2 plays.
That is. Some running backs right now are averaging like 3.2 or 2.8. They're not even able to get that.
No.
And speaking on what you just said about his very end career, it stopped in 99.
Yeah.
Shout out, Prime Video is coming out with a documentary called Bye Bye Barry.
Bye Bye Barry.
It's going to be November 21st. They are actually talking about why he ended his career, why he walked away.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I know you are. Just to hear,
I'm pumped.
because nobody knows why he left in 99. He just kind of pulled a Dave Chappelle, got up and dipped.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it was, for somebody that extraordinary to do that, it was mind-blowing at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't understand why. So I'm very excited for that. That documentary to come out.
Someone so influential as far as running backs in that league during that time, because you had Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, I mean, the list goes on during that time, and right before then you had LaDainian Tomlinson coming up from TCU, who was setting records over there. I mean, a kid from Rosebud Lot looked up to Barry Sanders.
Jerome Bettis
too, the bus, and Marshall Falk.
Yep.
I mean, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was a little bit way before, but 90s, there was them.
And I tell you, like, even Terrell Davis.
Yes.
Terrell
Denver.
Davis for the Broncos. I mean,
Shannon Sharp raves about him.
Dude,
like, there was a lot of great running backs. But nobody left the way Barry did, and everybody wants to know why. So I'm excited for that.
It's unfortunate for me because not to make anybody feel old, but I was 3 years old at that time.
Oh no, I was already older than that. I was a little older than that. Older than that. But nonetheless, as a fan of the game and rewatching this, because I love watching those, like 30 for 30s or the NFL stories and
NFL Films is such a great resource. Great resource for like watching old tape, and it kind of helps me out with my opinion on quarterback play today compared to Joe Montana and Steve Young and Tom Brady. You know,
Dan Marino.
And I'll be honest with you guys. You know, I don't have Tom Brady as the GOAT. I don't. I have Joe Montana, Tom Brady. You know, and
I'll tell you what. Right now, if you watching, drop in the comment who's your favorite quarterback.
Yeah,
let us know. Let us know right now. Who you have as a GOAT? All right, who you have as a GOAT on that? Let us know so we can talk about it a little bit later. But drop that in the comments because that wasn't on the rundown, but that needs to be on the rundown. We're gonna have to talk about it. But definitely, I want to hear from y'all, the fans, and everything. That's one thing I want to do. I definitely want to get y'all involved. Drop it in the comments. Let us know who do you think the GOAT is as a quarterback.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. My favorite quarterback is Troy Aikman.
Thank you. Oh yeah,
you know, he's my
favorites. He is one of my favorites.
And then you got Roger Staubach.
Oh,
you know,
bro,
Roger the Dodger, and a very underrated quarterback in my opinion, Don Meredith. Don Meredith is a very underrated quarterback.
There's a quarterback I have that I'm not a fan of, but I give him his respect. And I hate it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I hate it when the Cowboys played him. Terry Bradshaw. And you can say what you want, but he got the rings to back it up. He's a winner.
He had the defense,
but he's a winner. It's like going into the whole LeBron, Michael Jordan thing. Like, what do you want? You want the winner or not? And it'd be no different. You know, like somebody would probably tell you the same thing against Tom Brady. Hey, who got the rings? You know, and like I said, it's a debate for another day. We're going, but that is we'll bring it in. But I do want to also talk. There's another statue that's going to be unveiled next year.
Okay.
February 20. It's going to be February 8th, 2024.
Yeah.
At the Crypto Arena, Star Plaza, they are also going to bring out a Kobe Bryant statue.
Holy shit! They're
gonna unveil it. It's been announced. It's supposed to. It's the old Staples Center. Now it's called Crypto. But 2/28/24, you can see that they're the 5-time champion Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
They announced that they're gonna go ahead and have that bronze statue. The same people that built this one are coming out and they're gonna unveil it. And his wife is going to actually be the one to present it.
That's awesome.
His daughter, it's going to be really cool. She's actually the one that announced it last 8/24.
That's awesome.
And so I'm excited for that as well. Yeah. We're going to talk about basketball and Kobe later down the line.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool segue that, you know, they did Barry Sanders and now they're also doing the Kobe Bryant statue. That's going to be something really cool to see when it comes on and it comes around.
And another thing to add on to that, I mean, I was devastated about what happened to Kobe and his daughter, you know,
Gianna.
For one, that's a father and daughter, you know, passing away on a helicopter crash.
Yeah, it was very sad.
That's very.
It was a tough day.
And also, I grew up watching Kobe. I wasn't the biggest fan of Kobe before the late stage of his career, and this was before I stopped watching basketball because of someone I don't like, you know. But Kobe was one of the best basketball players in our lifetime, you know.
I have him there right behind Jordan.
Yeah, that
I do. Yeah, there's not another killer instinct shooter out there, player out there. You say what you want in the comments, drop it, let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
But just on Kobe, I feel like Kobe, it was the closest thing you could come to Jordan.
# Black Mamba.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about this. Everybody been talking about it all week. I've seen you talk about it. I've done talked about it. It was a Colorado State game, Prime. Yeah. First off, how do you feel about Coach Prime and what he's doing for the program?
Oh, I fucking love it, dude. Like,
awesome.
Here's my deal. There is no coach there's no coach out there in the country right now is doing what Deion Sanders is doing. I mean, I've heard it before. There is 1,000 primes. Not saying that their star power is like Prime, but Coach Prime, what he's doing for CU is extraordinary. It's unheard of. Like, think about it. I mean, the stage of NIL and whatnot. I don't even think that the kids are playing for money.
Oh, they're not. They're playing for Prime.
They're playing for Prime, man.
To give you an idea, check this out. So, ESPN reported this, and this is going off the numbers. Colorado, the stadium, it says capacity 50,000 people.
Folsom Stadium.
Right?
Yeah.
This past weekend, attendance was 53,000.
Yeah, insane.
Like,
insane.
It's to the point where they selling out those tickets. The tickets were used to be I think the average ticket from all the way from a suite to the top to the bottom was around $111. Now it's over $500 a ticket. He's bringing in revenue for the city. He's bringing in revenues for that hotel stream, the economy. He's bringing these players up. I am extremely excited for what he's doing in Colorado, and I think what he's doing it's awesome. Now, watching that game, and we're not going to get into the game because I know you've already heard it a lot this week, but we are going to talk about Travis Hunter. The fact that he's out now for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He did get hit on a dirty play. It was a late hit. There's been a lot of controversy with that. How do you feel about that hit, and what are your thoughts on that?
My first thought goes out to Travis Hunter. I hope you're feeling better, first of all. Lacerated spleen does not.
Liver.
Liver. I've heard spleen, liver. I mean, either way, it's bad, and I hope he heals up at this time, and get back in the game because we have one of the most extraordinary athletes that we haven't seen in quite some time, like since Prime and Charles Woodson, And I got to tell you guys, me looking at it, I don't necessarily think it was a late or bad hit, I think it was a hard hit, but I think he was playing to play, It wasn't targeting. It wasn't none of that bullshit,
I feel that it was just because there's been comments out the week before where Colorado State's team, nobody was actually identified, but there was audio of them saying, like, we're going to send a message to Travis Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it was them trying to send a message, trying to say we play tough.
Yeah.
It was a late hit. Do I think it was a dirty hit? No, in the sense of the fact that he got hit in the chest. He got hit.
Yeah.
Where he got hit was right here. He wasn't targeting. It wasn't with the crown of the helmet. It was straight homeboy's shoulder that went right into it and just dug in.
And it's crazy, too. And we'll get into this here in a minute with these dumbass officials.
Yes, definitely.
I've seen crazier ejection calls from lighter hits, and with that hit right there, I mean, it was a great defensive play. Even Prime and Travis Hunter went on Twitch or whatever he was on and said he just made a good play, and Henry Blackburn, I mean, it was.
That was the guy that hit Travis Hunter.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, number 11 is Henry Blackburn, and we'll get into the other shit here in a minute. But it was a heated rivalry. Mm-hmm. It was in the moment, So I mean, there was one play where Camaro went and hit Shedeur Sanders and brought him to the ground. And rough. And a lot of people don't know this, but he spit blood. He spit blood, and Deion, what's crazy? He smiled. He smiled at that guy, and Deion wiped his mouth, being a dad. How Deion says that he's a father first and a coach second. And he has that father-son moment with Shedeur. And I mean, before we get into other topics, let's talk about the leadership on Shedeur. I mean, that guy is fucking unbelievable.
Yes, he is. He is.
I mean, Shedeur was doubted all preseason because he played at an HBCU, which I think is, for one, disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
For two, you're doubting the talent of Prime's kids. That I think that's stupid.
It is. It's real dumb. And the best way I can talk about that is I don't know if you've seen that clip where it's Deion Sanders, Shiloh, and Shador. They're out there and at their house, and there's a football field in the backyard. And there's this saying like, "You have a football field for your kids." And his argument is like, you don't think Bill Gates has a laptop for his daughter? And
Exactly.
Son? Like, why wouldn't I? This is our family business. Like, why wouldn't I teach him and have it and build it? Like, and that to me is like, you really think this kid's not gonna be prepared?
Exactly.
He's been training with Tom Brady over the summer. You think this kid is not gonna be prepared?
Like, if you listen to Deion's interviews with a lot of people, Shador has been reading defenses since he was 5 years old.
Yes.
Since he was yay high, like, you don't think this kid knows what a stunt and a twist is on the defensive line? Like, come on, folks, quit doubting the kid.
I mean,
the kid's for real.
He threw for 348, 38 of 47.
That's
47 attempts. He completed 38 of them. Yes, he had one interception that was thrown, but that was just a defensive play where I ain't gonna lie, Colorado State came to play.
They came to
play. Their coach showed up and showed. He ran his mouth, and the team went behind him, and they held. They did it, but dude came to play. I mean, 38 of 47. Yeah. I mean, it don't get better than that. You want that. You want that kind of percentage for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And like that. That is the only thing I have said this before. I do want him to learn how to throw away the ball and not take the sack.
Exactly.
That's something he needs to work on. But I feel that's something that until now he's never really had to experience that with that kind of defense. I feel like he's always been able to be more athletic than the other team to make it.
He's going to be battle tested this weekend.
And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
No, I agree. And I mean, here's my deal. I listened to the Coach JV show with Big Smitty, and they bring on Matt McChesney, who is a former Colorado Buffalo, and he is a 6-year NFL veteran. He played defensive lineman. He was an all Big 12 defensive lineman. I follow him. He follows me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, the transition app or whatever. But yeah, I mean. Jay Norvell, he may have talked some shit and people took it.
I mean, he did.
Took it the wrong way.
Dude was talking shit. Let's get it straight.
Yeah,
that dude came out. He was saying some disrespectful shit.
But he came to play.
He did. Now they came to play. At least they backed it up. So now I want to move on to this. I mean, we're gonna talk about the loss of Travis Hunter in a second, but because of the hit on Travis Hunter, and this is what I want to ask you with your expertise of so much like high school football. How often do you see dirty hits, and how often do you see refs not even react to them?
Oh, man, I see it all the time. It doesn't matter what level of football it is, I probably see about 13 no calls per game in high school. 13 no calls, and that's just a roundabout number, The Cuero and Cal Island game before it got canceled, I mean, I saw so many no calls in that game. It was unreal. The Refugio Edna game, that was a barn burner in our first overtime game for the Gridiron 64 Sports Network. I enjoyed that game, but at the same time, there was a lot of no calls and a very controversial call. I just think that officials are lazy nowadays, and they're confused, which I don't understand how you could be confused on a targeting penalty, And I think they take the targeting penalty way too serious. I get it. It's for player safety.
Yeah.
But they're taking it way too seriously, and they're just so trigger happy with the flag, But on the high school level, it is lackluster. It is not – it's almost disgusting to watch when officials call a game. Like, every time I've been to a Refugio game this year, and this ain't on Refugio or whatever team they're playing against, This is towards the officiating crew. And it's the same goddamn officiating crew that I have seen
over and over again?
Over and over again at Refugio. This is twice now. we've had game of the week, and I swear to God, these guys don't know football for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time they got the ball. They threw a flag. They didn't even call what the flag was on. They grabbed the ball, went 5 yards the opposite way, then went fucking 20 yards the opposite way of that direction. And I'm like, sitting there as a commentator, I want to say, what is the fucking call?
Yeah.
Like give us a holding call, give us a face mask, personal foul. Like it's so frustrating that we have useless sacks of shits of officiating in a high school level of football. If you really care about the health of these kids and you want to actually make money, call the damn penalty and call it the right way.
Yeah.
Call the game the right way and let the boys play.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten too soft.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just plain and simple.
Got you. So, if y'all haven't heard, y'all know Travis Hunter got that hit. He is out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And really, that means, what does it cost for Colorado? Right? Because, let's be honest, since the start of the season, Travis Hunter has been a large part of the versatility of this offense. He plays both offense and defense. And just to give you some numbers, look, in the opener against TCU, he played 90% of the game. 90% of the game, going offense and defense. In Nebraska, man, he came out to 87 of the team snaps. And that was, now, and the crazy thing is, like, when you are playing two ways, right?
Yep.
And you lose that two-way player, you're not losing one person, you're losing two people. You're losing somebody on offense, you're losing somebody on defense, and now you got to find two new people to replace a wide receiver and a cornerback. And this week, they are going up against number 10 Oregon, number 10 in the country. It's going to be number 19 versus number 10. It's going to be a big, big game. There is no Travis Hunter. And then next week, they have USC. And then I believe after that, they have USC, and then they got Arizona State, and then he might be back for Stanford on October 13th.
Which that will be a cupcake game.
Yeah, and it'll be a good game for him to come back. But the next 2 weeks, Oregon and USC were the ones everybody was looking at because that's going to be their Pac-10, their division, where it's going to matter on how they rank, how they're going to make it to the Pac-10 championship, and it's divisional games. It means stuff. So, how do you think they are going to do this weekend against Oregon, not having their basically star player?
First of all, they're traveling to Eugene, Oregon in Autzen Stadium. That is one of the loudest stadiums in the country, So, that's going to be very tough for Colorado to play in a tough environment. Mm-hmm. And TCU is a tough environment, don't get me wrong. My Longhorns have a lot of trouble in Amon G. Carter Stadium, but it ain't nothing like Autzen Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you that right now. Autzen Stadium, to me, is the Pac-12's version of College Station, of Kyle Field,
I was about to say that without having to bring up my Aggies, but yes.
I'm a Longhorn, so.
It's okay. Don't
get started. Don't get started with that.
Hey, there's a reason why they call it the 12th man, and Seattle they lost that lawsuit to us.
Yeah, and that's crazy. And I'm actually kind of glad they did because that's a college tradition.
Yeah.
And it needs to stay in college.
It does.
But on a real note with Colorado, they're facing their toughest opponent.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Without Travis Hunter against Oregon, And they have Horn and they have Weaver.
I love Weaver. I love
Weaver's underrated.
Weaver, the receiver, is a beast. He's a beast.
And Jimmy Horn Jr., I love Jimmy Horn Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
And they have a very good running back. I forgot his name, but he is a very versatile running back. He could play both receiving back and play actual running back, And then you have Shedeur Sanders, who so far has looked outstanding. He's already in the Heisman race.
That's what I would say. I would say he's in the Heisman race. If he's not in there, he should be. The way he's playing. The one thing I will give him some criticism on is the rushing game. They only had 57 yards out of Edwards this last game. I know he's a small guy, but even if he is your leading rusher and it's only 57 yards, that's not very much a complete game or balanced game on that part. And balance has a lot to do with getting people open and throwing and having your slants and, your in and outs and, screen plays. And that's what you want. You want it very balanced. Or
repass option plays.
Yeah, a lot of RPOs. But that is one thing I feel like they would have to work on a lot since they're not going to have that deep threat with Travis Hunter. They do have Weaver, and I think he is a deep threat right up and down the field.
Hell, even Jimmy Horn Jr. could be considered a deep threat. I mean, he's a playmaker. I mean, and Weaver's excellent. I mean, I was like, when I saw Dion pick up Weaver, first of all, I was like, holy shit, he's picking up some dogs, you know. And they have the L's and they don't have the C's, they have the L's and the D's. Leaders and dogs, and but on the defensive side of the ball, they are not good on defense. I'm just going to point that out there. The only good player that they have besides Travis Hunter is Shiloh. And Shiloh's an excellent defensive back.
Woods, I was saying,
Woods too.
He's got 2 interceptions so far in the season.
Woods too, but going against Oregon and Bo Nix, I mean, Bo Nix is red hot, and they had a struggle with Texas Tech and Lubbock, which everybody has trouble in Lubbock. I mean, A&M over the years, Texas, we've had trouble with Lubbock. I mean, we just lost to them last year with possibly the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL this year. I mean, it's very difficult to say that Colorado is going to do anything on defense against Oregon because Oregon has a very fast offense, a very fast-paced offense, and Dan Lanning, he may have talked shit, but he was speaking truth on Colorado. But it wasn't necessarily like, oh, they haven't won anything, blah blah blah. It was stating fact, like, they're leaving the Big 12. What have they done in the Pac-12? I mean, that's just being real.
Gotcha.
It's not like Jay Norvell talking about hats and shades, but which I need to get those blenders,
They look
$67 pre-order.
1.2 million already sold.
Yeah, take me to Colorado, please.
I'll do it.
I think Oregon is the biggest challenge on the slate without Travis Hunter because USC really doesn't have a good defense. I'm gonna point that out. They have the Heisman, the 2022 Heisman guy, Caleb Williams, and they have an outstanding offense, but they haven't shown nothing on defense. Yeah, they blanked out Stanford, but everybody's gonna blank out Stanford.
Yeah,
all they are is a bunch of scholars and tree huggers, So I don't see them doing anything special in the Pac-12. But at the end of the day, Colorado going into Autzen Stadium is going to be a test for Colorado and adversity for Colorado. Oregon, they're looking at it as we're going to walk through these fucking guys, So I think it's going to be a big challenge for Dion. This will tell how this Colorado team can overcome adversity. If they lose by a touchdown, this is going to say a lot about Colorado.
Okay.
If they lose by 42, then everybody's going to be talking that shit.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to be honest with you guys. On my Pac-12 preview, I had Colorado at 6-6 this year because of the late Pac-12 schedule, and I knew that the Pac-12 was going to be good this season, even though they're breaking apart, and it's fucking beautiful in my opinion because the Pac-12 conference is it's been garbage.
Yeah. They still got Utah at the end of the year.
Yeah, they have Utah, they have USC, UCLA. UCLA is underrated. I actually underestimated UCLA. Oregon State. I mean, the list goes on, and it's going to be difficult for Colorado, but I have them at an 8-4 ceiling. I mean, they can.
Okay.
I could see them beating USC.
Yeah.
In Boulder.
I
in
think
Boulder.
I like Prime. I like Colorado. I like what they're doing. I do think they're going to struggle this weekend against Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you said, Oregon's offense is really going to show its dominance and its speed and something they haven't seen besides playing themselves in practice.
Yep.
I think that's really going to come out. We'll see what happens, but I have it close, but I think Oregon pulls away. But leading from one injury to another, let's talk about what happened. We're going to the NFL. Talking about the Browns and Steelers and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is out. Terrible injury. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
it's all over the internet. It's bad.
I don't recommend watching it.
And it's the same knee
Yeah.
that he's already injured before. His MCL, ACL, the same one. Done it again. He's out for the season. What does that leave the Browns?
I mean, they just got Kareem Hunt. I mean, Kareem Hunt loves the Browns organization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think it'll necessarily hurt them that bad. I think Deshaun Watson still got a lot of rust in his arm, or he needs to go get a rub and tug from the nearest massage parlor. I don't know. I don't know yet.
No,
but
he still got cases, bro. He still got cases to work on. That's probably what's on the back of his mind. But you're not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, dude. They paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, they
paid him a lot of money. And the first 2 games, he hasn't come out. A lot of it, I mean, he relied on Chubb.
And that defense.
And let's be honest, when Chubb got out, we really saw what the Browns are without a top near running back.
Yeah.
And
Ford had a fantastic game.
He did.
Let's be real. He had a fantastic game.
But he didn't have the impact as a Chubb, and there
No.
was, I mean, and the Browns, like, you can see it really got the wind out of them because the Steelers came back and won.
Yeah, and I think that falls under the pass protection too that Cleveland had too. I mean, and also Deshaun Watson was underthrowing some passes that shouldn't have been underthrown, you know, and overthrowing passes that shouldn't have been overthrown. And people out there that love Deshaun Watson as a quarterback, not as a person, but as a quarterback, take the blinders off and look at the film. And he did not look good. He really did not.
No, he doesn't look like the same quarterback that we saw at Clemson that went up against Alabama twice and beat him at the end of one,
or the rookie that played
or the
for
rookie
Houston.
at Houston. He does not seem that confident. And like you said, it could be a lot to do with them cases, and maybe nobody's pulling his rug that he need to be pulled. Or, I don't know, but he's not looking like what they paid for.
Exactly,
and that is something.
It's highway robbery at this point, and I mean it's just ridiculous. And yeah, a rub and tug. That's probably what he needs to get by this season.
For real.
And Cleveland's not the best spot, so you may have to go to Duval County. Shout out to the 904.
Bro, we giving locations away now. We get all the information.
Sensations. That's a great spot.
yeah. But
Duval.
But I do feel like we need to see Deshaun step it up. We need to see what's going on with that. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the end right quick. We got the games of the week, right? These are what I think the games are gonna be important. I'm also gonna start doing with my guests. I'm going to tell him the games of the week that I have, and I'm going to get his predictions. I'm also going to do predictions, and next week we're going to see how we did. We're going to see if we did 3-0 or I was 0-3. We're going to find out, but it's something. At the same time, on the comments, you think who it is, you get it up, and you let us know if you got your picks right or nothing. But the first one we was talking about was Colorado and Oregon, number 19 and 10. Who you got winning the game?
First of all, I don't know if DJ Lil King warned you, but I am a college football guru. I know what's going to happen before it happens.
Let me know.
TCU and Michigan. For you Wolverine fans, yeah, I'm calling you out. I mean, this game right here is a statement game for Colorado. For Oregon, it's just another game. It's to prove a point for Deion Sanders in Colorado. Without Travis Hunter, it's going to be hard for them to be able to compete with Oregon. I'm going to go with Oregon.
Okay.
Now, will it be close? I think Colorado has fight in them, but I think Oregon just has way too much speed on that offense compared to that defense, and that's why Prime is working so hard this offseason, or really right now, recruiting guys in for defensive linemen and just pass rushers. I've been keeping up with Colorado recruiting, but he's been trying to get dogs on that other side. So, give me Oregon. Let's see a good.
You don't got to
prediction.
take the points. We just
Okay.
You picking Oregon. On that game, I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Oregon pulls it out at the end. I think it's gonna be a battle to the fourth quarter. I think it's gonna come down probably to the last 3 to 4 minutes, and I think Oregon's gonna be able to get the ball, move it down quickly, and get those points. And I'm going with Oregon. My next game, we starting with some SEC play.
Oh boy.
All right. Alabama, number 13, Alabama versus number 15, Ole Miss. Is this a bounce back game for Alabama to get them proven like, hey, they still the top notch in the SEC and they playing somebody like actual worthy competitor? Or, what do you think and who you got?
So, for Alabama, I'm going to talk Alabama first. That was an ugly win against USF. Let's be honest. But there is internal conflict that has been resolved, I think, in the locker room. A lot of people weren't happy with the whole Milroe not starting and not even playing the game. Tyler Buckner looked god-awful. Ty Simpson did a little bit better, but, I mean, the X factor in this game is Alabama's offensive line. Can they protect Jalen Milroe long enough? Because Ole Miss's pass rush is no joke.
No, they're not. They can move.
But Alabama's defense is tough, and I know they didn't look too good against the pass against Texas, and they got ran over quite a bit against USF. But I think that was an uninspired, unmotivated Alabama team. But then you flip over to Ole Miss. They played against Tulane, who I think is a very, very dangerous team in the American, who I think deserves the right to be in the SEC.
Okay.
However, Ole Miss struggled against Tulane up until the very end.
True.
And that was without Michael Pratt, the starting quarterback for Tulane. And that defense looked horrendous in the first half, of that game. I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people may be like, TJ, why are you thinking about this? Because Lane Kiffin's had trouble with Nick Saban in Alabama for quite some time, since his Tennessee years. I'm sticking with the Crimson Tide. I think it's gonna be not a three-score game, but a 3-point game. I think it's gonna be another ugly offensive game between these two. It's going to come down to who could protect who better. I think Alabama's going to play more aggressive than they did against USF and Texas. You're probably going to see Jalen Milroe make a couple mistakes, but I think he's the best option, and they need to start doing play designs for Jalen Milroe. And for Jackson Dart, I think he's going to go under 250 in this game.
Okay. I'm going the opposite. I'm going Ole Miss.
Okay.
I think Ole Miss is going to actually come out. That defense is really going to show, like you said, those mistakes Milroe's going to make. I feel like they're really going to pop it out. I feel like they're going to do some work, and I feel like Alabama's not going to get their stuff together until probably the third and fourth quarter. And by then, it'll might make a little run, but I think it'll be too late. I'm going Ole Miss.
Right, and I understand that pick, and I just see it this way, there was internal conflict after the Texas game, and then there's rumors swarming around that Milroe had attitude problems. That's why he sat out
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I mean, am I confident that Alabama's going to win? Absolutely not. Am I confident that Ole Miss is going to win? Absolutely not. I mean, every time Ole Miss has played Alabama, they've given them trouble, but they haven't quite beat them. You know,
and I think they do this weekend.
And it's a possibility. I'm not saying that you're wrong or whatever. I just think that it could go either way.
We'll find out.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to find out. All right, last game of the week. It's tomorrow's night, Thursday night, football. 49ers and Giants. Who you got?
So, New York had I want to say their biggest comeback in franchise history, if I'm not mistaken. But that was against the Arizona Cardinals. You were down bad against the Cardinals. I mean, good Lord, man. I mean, Saquon's out for New York.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had New York in the playoffs over the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys were still going to go in, but I had the Giants preseason possibly competing for the NFC East title over Philadelphia. But now that I look at it, they are bad. They are bad, you know. And for the 49ers, I think they are one of the top 5 teams in the NFL right now.
Okay.
Brock Purdy is a good fit for that 49er offense. That defense is top notch. I think they're up there with Dallas. Give me the 49ers.
Okay. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Just because I've seen the
2 out of 3.
You know,
I got him.
I agree with you. I'm picking the 49ers as well. I don't think the Giants, they're not the Cardinals. They're not going to be able to make a comeback like that. I feel like the Giants maybe got a little pep in their step after that.
Yeah.
But
Daniel Jones had fantastic.
He did. And that is actually bringing me to my next thing. So, like, every now and then, we might help you out with some betting picks. This is just my opinion. I ain't telling y'all to go bet. I ain't telling y'all to go do nothing. But if you want to do a parlay, I'm going to tell you what I think is going on with tomorrow's game if you want to do it for tomorrow night. This is what I got. So, I got on the Giants, Waller over 4.5 catches.
It's not bad.
The reason why I have it, last game he had 6 catches on 8 targets last week. There's not going to be no Barkley, right? Saquon's out, so they are going to throw the ball a little bit more. They're probably going to hit his way. I think he can get 5 catches. I'm going to go the over on that one. What do you think?
That's actually a pretty good over right there. I mean, Darren Waller's a very good safety valve for Daniel Jones, you know, and I'm gonna stop it right there for a second. I think Daniel Jones is a very good quarterback in the NFL, a very underrated quarterback, and a lot of people don't understand why, because he's a very good traditional quarterback,
And he played at Duke.
He did play at Duke.
He played at Duke. It wasn't like a big conference everybody looked at.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
it wasn't the best team to look at. I mean, but yeah, I like that. I like that
You like
over.
that one?
Yeah,
So the next one I got is Christian McCaffrey. I have him on the over on 81.5 rushing yards.
that one's a good one too.
I think he's gonna touch the ball. I'm predicting him hitting like 105. So I think the 81.5 is a nice, like, it's under. So I'm going over on that pick as well.
Yeah.
You like that one?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect. So then bringing up my third one, I mean, these are all options. You could do 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want on your parlays, but I'm just giving you my 5. The next one is, we're talking about Daniel Jones.
Yep.
He's at 211.5 yards. I'm going over. The reason why I'm going over, there is no Barkley. They're not really going to be running it. The 49ers put up points. They are going to be chasing the 49ers. I feel like they're going to throw the ball. I feel like he can get 220, 2 TDs, and maybe 1 interception.
Yeah.
I feel like that's reasonable for Daniel Jones and the Giants. I feel like that is a good over. I don't think he's going to throw less than that because, like I said, there's no running game right now.
Exactly. I mean, but you got to take into account that pass rush for the 49ers. It's tough.
It's tough.
But I will agree with you, but to a certain extent that maybe a little bit over.
It wouldn't be
200.
It wouldn't be a parlay if you ain't risking something.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
and hey, like Coach JB says, you got bet big money to make money. So.
So another one I got for the 49ers, George Kittle, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really been worked that much the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Right? But they're going up against the Giants, and the Giants is in last place defending tight ends. And he's at 43.5 yards. And I think that's freaking very doable for Purdy and Kittle to go over. I think he can definitely have over 43.5 yards.
Well, if Purdy doesn't throw it to Ayuk and Deebo Samuel every freaking play,
But I mean, the Giants have struggled guarding tight ends these last 2 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Last 2 tight ends have had great games. Zach Ertz with the Cardinals, great game.
Great game.
I feel like that is very doable. 43.5. You want to bet that? Last one, I'm just doing the over and under on the whole game. It's 44 points. The 49ers in the last 2 games have at least scored 30 points.
Yeah.
So if the Giants can do 2 touchdowns, I think you can hit that over on the 44. I think it's very doable. DJ Little King telling me right now he going with the under.
Whoa.
That's crazy because
I want to hear this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
I wanna hear
the 49ers themselves put up 40 points. Giants put up 28 last week. I think they could do 2 touchdowns.
But this is the same Giants team that lost to Dallas 40-0. So
It is.
San Francisco comes out and scores 35.
What do they come out and score 46?
No, I'm just saying. What if they come out and score 35 and then the Giants put up another donut?
They might, but I'm just saying.
I just don't have
that is a
enough
good
confidence. I don't have enough confidence in
That
the
is-
Giants to go with the over.
That's why I said this is my picks. Don't take them and bet them because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At your own risk. But with my logic right now, it's the 49ers have scored at least 30 points in 2 games. I feel like that's what they're averaging. They could probably do it again. In the last 2 games, the Giants have scored 14 points. That's their average. And if you do the math, that's 44. It'd be a push, but just mathematically going off the data, that's where I'm at.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one.
Okay.
I think the Giants and the 49ers are gonna have a low scoring affair. I think this game is gonna be low scoring. Do I think the Giants defense is gonna do anything? Absolutely not. I just think that it's probably gonna be a little bit less than 44 points. I'd go as far to say it's probably going to be like a 28-13 type of game. There you have it, 41 right there.
I mean, it's close.
It's
44.
close, but
It's
you're
close.
right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why it's called betting, people. That's why it's called gambling.
Yeah.
But
you risk it for the biscuit.
There you go.
That's what I always say, folks. Risk it for the biscuit, and you might get that reward.
And you go ahead and drop in the comments what games you want to hear about next week or what future stuff you want to talk about. Go ahead and let us know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I want to thank my guest today, TJ. I appreciate you coming through, brother.
Yeah.
Man, I had a great time talking to you about some sports. It was awesome.
I had a badass time here. Got to share a little bit of my story and also my insight to the game. If you guys want to check me out on the Gridiron 64 Sports Network. Right now, the Pigskin Mafia podcast isn't running, but we will be running probably next year or so. But I do want to take the time this year to focus more on high school athletes and do more commentary. But we will be back. The PMP will be back at some point, and J-Mo, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing well in Nevada. Go Wolfpack. I know they're a terrible team, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, J-Mo. We'll be back up and running, bud. Just stick. We're probably gonna go on Kick. For those that don't know, it's not the group message app. It's the actual streaming app that you can go on. It's like Twitch, but a little bit more raw. And I think that's probably going to be the next best thing is kick. And I have a buddy that's a gamer. He goes on there quite a bit.
Nice.
And special shout out to a couple of people that just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl today. Jeffrey Rao and Alexis Burns, shout out to you guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to you guys. Uncle TJ is going to go find the nearest Dallas Cowboys shop, which is in Corpus, in the mall, and I will get a onesie per size for each month. So be ready because I'm going to act like Uncle TJ.
What you got? What's this T-shirt you got right here? Show me what's going on right here.
This was about a year ago that I came up with the concept. I kind of want to show you guys this. It's the P&P Club. It's the Bone Soldier edition. And on the back, you got the P&P logo, the Pigskin Mafia podcast logo. I don't know if you guys could see it, but I'm pretty sure the lighting is good. Okay, good. So the P&P Club, that is a Bone Soldier edition. I believe it's $30.
Where can they find it?
You can find it through me, and I can go on Uber Prints. Let's see if we can zoom into this little card here. I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah, I can. Hey.
Okay,
Just
so
read it.
but yeah, so this is a shirt for Uber Prints. You can design your shirts, and we have a listing of shirts that we've made. We made the Tom Landry edition. We've made camo. We've made a bunch of shit on this. We made camo hats. We made beanies. I got a shit ton of beanies that are still in my house. So if y'all want one, they're $20. I have a full box of beanies. So don't be afraid to buy them.
Yeah, man, hit them up, let them know, DM them, get in there, ask them out. As you can tell, bro, I'm wearing Riding High merch. We got some out too. We got sizes. Go ahead, hit the DMs on the Riding High podcast, Riding High Podcast Sports. I want to thank my guest, TJ, for coming through. It's your boy Can too. If I can, you can too. This is Riding House Sports, and man, we're gonna catch you next time here at Riding House Studios. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.